Hey friends, come on in. Happy Tuesday. We are adding resin to our little ornament today, and I want to show you guys the steps, and this will be a real quick one, but we painted it together yesterday and I told you guys I'd come back on and add the resin today. So here we are. If you are hearing my voice right now, you may be watching the replay, so go ahead and put hashtag replay so I know you were here. I like to come back and say hi, or at least give you a heart knowing that I saw you here. And hope everybody's having a good day. It has really been rainy here in my part of Texas, and so I did get some headache relief last night or early this morning. Hi Cheryl, hi Brookie, how are you guys today? Glad y'all are popping in to see this part. I've got my camera down really low. I hope that y'all have a good view. Hi Deb, sorry I keep losing the comments. Hi Christy, hey Sydney, thank you guys for sprinkling. Hi Cynthia and Bonnie. Hi Debbie Dooley, glad y'all are here. Anytime you work with resin, you definitely want to wear gloves. I just don't ever work with resin without it because it is sticky, messy, all the things. So wear gloves. And I always kind of have things out and ready to go. You're going to need a few things. So anytime you work with resin, or at least this epoxy resin that I'm using, you're going to need a couple of little measuring cups. Now for today, this is such a tiny little ornament. It's just 3 inches by 4 inches or 3.5 by 4. So I won't need 2 cups. I can do this with 1 cup. But typically when I do a painting, I'm going to need 2 little cups. And then a larger cup that I can pour those into to mix. This is a 3-ounce cup and these are 1-ounce cups. So that's typically what I use for mine. Unless I go bigger, then I do have to have a larger cup. Yes, hi Holly, glad you're here to learn. Hi Marcia. Thank you, Christy. You are awesome. Clean up with resin. Yes, I always do. I have any of my paid tutorials. Like if I do a paid tutorial, it's $10. It's not very much, but it does go over all things, including cleanup and everything. So Kim, remind me and I will point you to a couple of those in our VIP group. Thank you, Lisa, for sprinkling. Glad you're here live. Hello, Lynn. Hi, Deborah Ann. Hi, Vicki. Thank you for sprinkling. You guys are amazing. Thanks. So anyway, what I will typically do is mark my cup, because with resin, you want it to be exactly perfect, even. So if I'm this is 1-to-1 ratio resin and hardener. And if I put, 5 cc's of resin, I'm going to want 5 cc's of hardener. So it's very hard to see these lines, and that is a place that a lot of people will make a mistake, is by seeing the line wrong. So my practice has been to go ahead and mark where I want the things, right? So 0.25 and 5 is what I'm doing. Or 2.5 and 5. So I will have resin and hardener in that cup. We'll just go ahead and mix in that cup since I need so little. Now about amount, I've just been doing this for a few years, so I know how much it's going to take. Until you get to that point, I recommend just using what the calculator tells you. So if you go to the Art Resin website, I'm not an affiliate. It's just that I highly, highly recommend this brand because of the safety component. They've done more research than is required, and to be sure that everything in these products are safe. And most companies don't do that because it's very expensive to do that kind of research. You have to have an independent company doing the research. And so, it's pretty rare. So that's why I trust them, and I trust telling you guys, to use them and all that. But I do, with all that being said, recommend you go on their website and read about it, and read about any resin that you are thinking about using. Don't ever purchase one just because you see it on sale or because your friend told you, even including me. Do your research, be sure that you feel comfortable. And, but these are the things you're looking for. No VOCs, no COVs, and no BPAs, which are abbreviations for probably 25-letter words that you do not want in your home. Chemicals. So, that being said, let's see, there's my little cup. So what we did yesterday, if you weren't here, and hi everybody that's coming in, I'm sorry I'm not watching to say hi to you, but I'll go back. Hello, Mary Jo. Hi, Sherry and Kim. Hi, Deb. Thank you for sprinkling. Hi, Vonda. Thank you for sprinkling. And Vonda, come in as your business so everybody can follow you. You guys will want to see what she does. She is a great creator too. So I am just going to move these little, I said two like I am. I didn't mean it like that, y'all. I promise I didn't. She's a great one to follow. Let's say that. I'm going to move these off so that I can put my resin down, and then I'll put these on top. Otherwise, they'll just kind of get drowned under all that resin. And for these ornaments, I don't use just a ton of resin. I just use enough to keep everything down and give it a really glossy glass-like finish. Also, for ornaments, I don't tape the back. I, again, have done it long enough that I can control the resin not going over the side. But until you get to that point, I do recommend taking some painter's tape and taping down the back, especially along all these edges, because you're going to put this on a level surface to cure, and some resin can drip over the side. Now, if it's a lot of resin, it might drip over and onto your table. But if it's not a lot, just some, just a little, it'll drip over your ornament and then hang right here on the back, right about here. So when you turn this over, you'll have dots all around of resin. And it's a real hassle. You know, that's another video where I definitely have taught this in the VIP group, how to get that off. The best way, the easiest way. So rather than having all that drip off, that's such a hassle, I don't want to deal with that. I don't like that. It's a hassle and messy. So I have learned how to just stop at the edge and not let it go over. So I'm going to go ahead and mix our resin, and then I'll continue to talk and help you guys with this. But I do want this to get to sit here a little bit. So I am just starting with one. It doesn't matter which one. Hi, Tamara. You guys, I wish I could just sit and see everybody. Hi, Levated. Thank you for the stars. You guys, okay, there's Finding My Happy. Vonda, thank you. Okay, I'm going to pour this hardener in up to that first line. This little black marker that I put makes it so easy to see. And I just highly recommend doing that. Because if you go over with your hardener, you don't want to have to mess with pouring it back in the bottle. You'll just need to go over the same exact amount with your resin. Now I'm going to put my lid on it, and I'm going to set it back here at the back of my desk. So that way, if my dog breaks in the door or my internet goes out. Oh, hi, Linda. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you're back with me. Hi. Oh, thank you for the stars. You know, if something happens unforeseen and I have to leave the desk, or I have to get, sidetracked. If both of these are sitting here, right here, how do I know which one I just poured? But if one of them is off far away from me, I know this is the one that needs to be poured, right? If you will get in those habits, you will save yourself a lot of trouble. And I know I'm a broken record for you guys that follow me all the time, but I really think it's important that everybody understands some of this stuff and hears it. And some people will be watching this for the first time. So thank you for being patient and listening sweetly, even though you know all the things. And then I always put my lids back on them, and then you can just set them aside. Now we've got them together, and I'm going to mix. I'm going to do it slow and easy, just kind of slow with this craft stick. And it is simple. Here's the thing. So many people are scared of this, and that's why I love teaching it, because if you follow these little guidelines that I give you, I promise you really will have a great product. You won't have any trouble. There is a learning curve, of course, just like anything. When you learn to ride a bike, you're going to fall a few times, but that's how you learn what not to do the next time you get on the bike. So none of our projects turned out 100% perfect at first. We had to do some learning, but I am here and I try to be so generous with my knowledge because, you know, I want you guys to love this as much as I do and have a good outcome. Now, everything, if you want all the tricks, if you want to know where I buy things, because I don't give everything away here, I do that in my private group. And so, and I try to keep it as inexpensive as I possibly can for you guys to get to come in. But that's where I really give all the things, you know. And so if you want to go deeper and you want to be able to ask questions and, you know, even message me and say, hey, this is going on, or where did you get those pearls, you know, whatever, then get on in that group. We have a fantastic group. So anyway, oh yes, Kim, you're so excellent at it too. So you can kind of be we're having a stars party? No way. Thank you guys. Man, Facebook is starting to be kind again. What was I saying? I don't know, but, you know, Kim is living proof and so many others that were very intimidated. I was intimidated the first time I used it, especially because I had done probably a good 6 months of research, and resin can be so dangerous. Let me just tell y'all, resin can cause neurological issues and health issues with your lungs. That is why I don't take chances. I use only Art Resin brand. I have said this a million times that I will skimp on many other things, and I do. I skimp on a lot of things so that I can use Art Resin brand. It is more expensive, but it's worth it. So, you know, I just can't say it enough. Absolutely. Lisa, yes, 100%. I wish that I was an affiliate because I do send a lot of business their way. But the thing about it is, you know, once you get sick, you can't get it back. You know, it's months of feeling awful and trying to get to the bottom of why you feel awful and all the things. Pick up her cat. Oh, are you? Aww. Okay, Chrissy says stop. So I don't know if y'all can see it on camera, but it's nice and clear. It does have bubbles. That's okay. We're going to get them out. But the point is, you know, this resin also, I get a perfect, clear, shiny, glossy look every single time. And that's another benefit because it just always turns out good because they use quality products. And that, again, that's why it's a little more expensive. But, you know, it's just not something that I'm going to chinch on. I'll chinch on lots of things and give up coffee once a week for this. Okay, so what you see me doing here, we've got if you did not see this tutorial yesterday, then go back and watch it. I showed you exactly how to paint this and how to set your little pearls. All of that is set. And I did go back after the live and painted this. Thank you guys for the stars. I appreciate so much. Yeah, exactly, Lisa. Your lungs, man, that is so vital. So on the line, I just went back and added that line to kind of look like, see her arms and, you know, like the little cookie, I guess. So yeah, I thought that was cute. Hi, Veronica. You can buy respirators and all of that. But, yeah, I mean, I figure you do not have to use them with this resin, which is nice. You know, now if you already have a lung issue, you know, maybe it's in your benefit to go ahead and use one. I don't know, but you don't have to. So this resin that we just mixed is very runny. Can y'all see that? I don't know if y'all can see how runny. So what I like to do is let this kind of sit off to the side while I'm doing something else, because that needs to thicken up a little bit. If I just poured it on now, it's going to pour all over the sides, right? It'll just pour all over. So we're going to sit here and chit chat for a second while that, you know, thickens up for a minute. And I will mention, by the way, if you're a VIP, you got this last night. So be sure and get in that group. And can y'all see it all? I did lots of different sizes for this girl so you could do it on whatever you find. You know, if you find ceramics or if you find wood or, you know, Dollar Tree things. Let me see if I have one of those. Dollar Tree. So I will often get one of these little frames. This is a little larger and it came from Michael's, I believe. I'm looking to see if it says, yeah, Michael's, because Art Minds is their brand. So it's just like a little, what do you call it? Little box frame or something. This is also a really good thing to kind of paint on, and you can use it like an ornament. This one's just a tad bit big. It's probably 5 inches, but you could totally do the same thing, you know, with this little box, or even take off everything off the back and do the back. And I've done that before too. Just take everything out, clean it up, sand it, and you could use the back. But, you know, think outside the box. And just for wood, you want to always seal the wood. Let me just grab my sealer while we're at it. Holly, I don't use puff paint. If you're asking about this, this is actual little pearls. Gingerbread girl and the owl. Yes, good, Deb. You can do it. Multi-surface. Yes. Little bitty pearls. They're 4 centimeters. Is that right? Or millimeters? 4 millimeters, I guess. And then this is just one of those little cups, you know, that you use for jewelry. A bead cup is what it's called, with a little freshwater pearl in it. I know, I think the pearls are so sweet. But if you're going to use wood, you want to put down your multi-purpose sealer. Or if you have a good sealer that you use for your wood, you know, use that. This will keep your resin from just soaking into the wood. You don't want that because it will release bubbles, or it can release bubbles. Not all wood is bad about it, but some wood is, and it'll ruin your project. You'll have so many bubbles that, you know, are just in it. And it can even, what I call staining the wood. I don't know if there's a better word for it, but it's like the resin soaks down into the wood and makes it really dark in some places. So it just is it's a no. It's a big no. I would never use resin on wood without using the sealer or a good wood sealer. So this is just a brush on that I use a lot anytime I am gonna, in fact, I use this even if I'm just gonna paint, because it does give me a nice surface to paint on. So I just am in the habit of using this, and it's not expensive because it doesn't take a whole lot. And I just seal my wood, let that dry before I paint or do resin. So I would let this dry, and then I'd come back and do one more coat, especially on the bottom where I'm going to put some resin. Let's see. Releases the tannins in the wood. Yep, that sounds about right. I don't know what tannins are, but I'm sure you're right. Hi, Rennie. I'm glad you did too. I saw that you watched the replay. I love seeing who comes back by and checks it out. Thank you, Michelle. Let's see if I missed anything. Thank you guys all for the stars. I appreciate it. Thank you, Joanne, for sprinkling. Glad y'all are all here today. I'm excited for our VIP. We have a 2 o'clock appointment, ladies. I'm just grateful to feel a little better. I've got a headache, but it's not like it was. It was like a migraine. I call it a sinus migraine, where you just feel like you just can't handle it. Hi, Marie. I'm glad you did too. And that's okay, Lorena. We're just kind of going over the ins and outs of resin. And while I'm letting this thicken up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and do one more coat on this. And wouldn't it be great if we could paint that too? But I don't know. We're going to see how far we get. But I do, no pun intended, but I love thinking outside the box. So I have used these little, I always have a stack of these, you know. I'll just, when I'm at Michael's and I see them, I'll grab like 10 of them and then I have some. Because you can, I probably have tutorials on YouTube where I have taken one and built up a little scene, you know, like a, what do you call it? Like a shadow box scene, and you put like a little Christmas tree and some snow down here and something in the background, and then that's an ornament, and it's so cute and unique. So I think it's kind of cool to get these. They're like $1 or $1.25 maybe. I think they're $1 at Michael's. So they're actually cheaper at Michael's now than Dollar Tree. Somebody had said on one of my lives that Dollar Tree was going to go back to $1. Has anybody else heard that? Isn't it true, Lisa? I feel like most of us who use it, we just are so hooked. Oh, have you? Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, it has been brutal. Just no relief, and I've tried all kinds of medicine and Sudafed and Flonase nose spray for allergies and essential oils and diffusers and all of it. I don't always dry this. I typically just let it dry on its own. Okay, well then that's probably just somebody misheard something or something, because it was just the one person that said it and I haven't heard anything else about it, so it probably, I thought it was too good to be true. I know. Well, food, y'all. Food is too expensive. Laura says I'm new, painted something with chalk paint. Chalk paint is good. Chalk paint, I would put maybe one more layer of your chalk paint and then you should be okay. Chalk paint can kind of serve as a faux sealer because it is thicker. So try it, you know, try it. One time won't hurt. I don't take chances because I don't want to waste my resin. I just, you know, it's expensive and I love it. And so I try to be really careful with it. Let me grab like a berry red and do a background at least while we're letting this. It is getting a little thicker. Maybe by the time we're done with our background, it will be good. But I didn't want to do it ahead of time because I like y'all to see the whole process. Isn't that pretty red? This is cinnamon stick, or no, cinnamon drop. And this is new to me. I just got it this year to use for some of my Christmas design. It's really pretty, bright red with a little berry tint. I love Santa red, I love Tuscan red, and country red are my go-tos. But, you know, I just have a lot because I love paint and I love trying everything that comes out. But you just need one good true red, and then you can mix to make other colors, so you don't have to go buy all the colors. But y'all can't tell since I'm the one painting, but that sealer also makes your paint go on so good. I guess I'll go ahead and do the sides. Let me think how that will look. I'll go ahead and do the sides while we're at it. Had to blur my eyes and picture which way I wanted it. But the sealer on top of your wood, if you are, maybe you do wood door hangers, wood signs, or just wood crafts, I promise you're going to be amazed how much that sealer helps for things to go on smooth and easy. Yes, brown and red will give you kind of a really good burgundy, dark kind of oxblood color that I do like. So yes, you can totally mix and just experiment. It's fun with what you have and see what you can get with it. And when you do that, if you feel like it's a little too dark, you just add just a tiniest bit of white, and then you'll probably love it. I'm going to leave the top edges because I might want to paint those a different color. I might want to make it a wood look, like a brown, or I might want to do white. I'm not sure yet. Yes. Oh, Jackie. I have super tiny nasal passages, and they had to do a nasal surgery on me where they go and try to open them up a bit. And I've had like trouble my whole life with sinuses. And, so yeah, it's, you know, you've got to nip stuff in the bud with that. That's why the first sign of people telling me that they have sinus issues, I'm like, please drink lots of water, get rest, let your body fight whatever's going on. Because it's not that, like, I feel like I sometimes mother people, like, they're like, I'm a grown woman, I know, but it's just because I've been there, and, you know, none of us want to rest. We want to get everything done, but your body is fighting something a lot of times that you need to let it do its thing. Ooh, that's such a pretty red, you guys. I'm going to grab the paper towel. When I squirted my paint right in it, it got a little bit too much. My plan is to maybe paint one of those little girls inside this little box. But I was able to show y'all that good sealer while we did that. Okay, let's try and see where we're at with our resin. Also, when you're doing resin, it will be helpful to have some baby wipes with you, some paper towels, and even alcohol. I usually have alcohol in this. You can get this at the Dollar Tree. It's what people use for their, you know, to do nails, fingernails, and you just press it and the alcohol comes out, but that's empty. So if you have some alcohol wipes, but that, if you get resin on your gloves, that will take it right off, and also on your tools. So a lot of times I'll use the little scraper, and if you just rub it with this, it gets all that resin off, so it's completely fresh and perfect for the next time. So alcohol wipes are a great little, not just wipes, but alcohol period is a great little thing to have when you're using resin. Hi, Mary Williams. How are you today? Glad you're here live. So it is getting thicker. I would still continue to let it sit longer on a normal day, but I'm going to go ahead and do it so we don't have to just sit and watch, not paint dry, but resin thicken. And all I'm going to do is take some on my stick. I have the camera down low so y'all can see really well. I hope that y'all have a good view. I'm going to take my stick and kind of pile some up there, and then I'm going to just kind of zigzag across over my little beads. Now, yesterday we did attach these lightly with some clear glue. You can see that tutorial on my page from yesterday. And so they're not rolling around. That is my pro tip, because there's one that rolled, but it's really just 10 times easier to do it the way I taught you than to try to put your resin and put your beads and all the things. So I highly recommend doing it that way. And then you can just put your resin on. As long as there's a little resin that touches each little pearl, they will not ever leave. So you can pass this down to your grandkids and it will never fall apart. They can even play with it and it won't come off. It's permanently attached. I don't know of anything stronger than resin to hold things down. And once you know that you've kind of gotten resin over all the little pearls, or at least, you know, some in there, then you can move on and just start adding resin on the rest of it. You can pour it, but I just find better control by using my little stick. I can tell how much I have, and I can put it exactly where I want it. So a lot of times on something so small, I just keep using my stick. Now I did cause that one to roll, but that's okay. It'll stay put. I'm going to put that down. I just wanted y'all to see as good as possible. Hi, Linda. Glad you made it. And if you notice, I'm not putting this at the edges. I'm putting it kind of toward the girl, toward the center. And then I'm going to push it to the edges. This is self-leveling, so as long as it's on a level surface, it will eventually, everything will level out as long as you do your part. You can't just walk away right now and think that it's all going to magically spread out. You do have to kind of help it. But once you've helped it, then it does spread out a little. You must have a level surface. I cannot stress that enough. Get you a level. This was $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. You can easily find these anywhere. Walmart, Amazon, any hardware store, but the Dollar Trees, of course, are $1.25. You must have your item on a level surface to cure. If you don't, it will not turn out well. You won't like it. You won't want to even give it away. So be sure you're on a level surface. Again, I've done this a while, so remember how I told you I knew how much to use, and I've still got some left. I probably will not use all that, but we're going to kind of just spread it around and see, but I'm pretty sure this will be all I need, what I've got on it. I don't like it running everywhere, and if you just popped on late, I like to bring it to the edges and stop, and that way I'm not using, number one, not overusing resin to where it's more expensive, because I don't want to waste it. It would be all over my desk. There's no point. And I think the look is just as good to have it just like I do it, and not, but there are people who want it to run all over the sides, and that's fine. That's their choice, This is just how I do it and how I teach it. So we've got it all over a really good coating. So we definitely will not need any more. So I can do 2 ornaments with that tiny amount that I just poured. And so now we're getting to the point where it's almost to the edges. And I'm just going to take my stick and kind of just lightly, gently. You can see how gingerly I'm doing this, right? Can y'all see? Just pushing it to the edge while trying to hold it level. And that way you are creating like a seal, it's called doming it, so that it doesn't just go over the edge and run all over the place. Now, because this is still not quite as thick as I want it, it can still run, but hopefully it will not. And if you let it thicken up for just 10 to 15 minutes before you do this, then you're really in good shape and it won't run over. But there's a learning curve, like I said, the first few times, go ahead and tape, the first however many, go ahead and tape the back of your item with some painter's tape so that you don't have to worry. Oh, well, that's okay. Some people's hands shake. Sorry if I'm getting out of the camera. I'm trying to watch my iPad. Some people's hands shake, and that's where you just have to say, if you have shaky hands and you still want to do this, you just say, it's not going to be 100% perfect, and I'm okay with that. It's still going to be pretty, and the only problem I foresee would be that your resin would go over the sides, and that's not even a problem. A lot of people want it to, so no big deal. I typically will tell you to open a window when you're using resin, even this, because it is safe, but there is a slight odor, but it's not strong. It is not strong. It doesn't give me a headache or anybody in my family, and I've used it for years. In fact, they don't even smell it. You know, like if somebody comes in here and talks to me, nobody's ever said, what is that smell? I mean, they don't smell it. Now if I breathe it, if I get down in here and really smell it, I could probably smell it, but okay. So we've got a really good coating. Let me see if y'all can see that. I did. I put it all over the pearls. So because I've got enough resin, I don't know if y'all can see under that little cup will be on there permanently. So now I'm going to take my little butane torch. This is like a kitchen torch basically, but it's on Amazon and it's somewhere around $15 to $20, so it's not a lot. And I've used it so long now and I love it, but you can use a heat gun if you have one of those, just on a lowest setting. So get it really hot and then the lowest setting so it's not blowing your resin. And when I use this and I have something like pearls, I'm not going to go over the pearls. I'm just going to hit the edges. So just really quickly hitting the edges, and that's it. And that pops those bubbles without hurting my pearls, because these pearls, think about it, they are probably coated with something, you know, and that would catch them on fire. Not catch them on fire, but it would burn them. So there's that. Can y'all see how pretty? And then when this thickens a little bit, I'll go ahead and do it today, but typically I wait until it thickens more to put down things like these little rhinestones. And once it thickens, like for an hour or two, then I'll just pop them down. But I can do it now. It's just, you know, very runny still. But I'll just pop these down where I want them. Can take your old tweezers. I bought these for jewelry a long time ago, and now I use them for this. Just pop them wherever you want them. And I always, you know, anytime I send out kits for you to do your own, I send you the stir stick, a toothpick, because you probably can't see, but there's just the tiniest little piece of fuzz, and I'll use that toothpick to grab the piece of fuzz. You know, we have things floating through the air we don't even realize, and it will land. Where was this? Oh, this was on her finger. Somebody put a ring on it, you guys. Is this? That is right. That's left. And then earrings. We had earrings. I almost forgot. Just turn it over if it does that. And that's where the toothpick comes in. So handy. Just flip it over. Y'all with me? She has earrings. Yes. So cute. I love the earrings. Thank y'all for the hearts. Oh, Gracie, I'm glad you like it. That makes me happy. I love teaching this stuff. And then I've got a few rhinestones. I was actually going to hot glue these down and totally forgot. My hot glue's even heated. But what I'm doing here, see how I'm tapping it into this resin? Just tapping it in there to be sure the bottom is really well coated with resin. And then I'm going to put it where I want it. And it will stay. Now, I will what I call babysit this. So I'll come look at it every 15 minutes for about an hour to be sure nothing moves. Because as your resin continues to kind of settle, you know, maybe your earring comes over here a little bit. So I'll pop it right back. It doesn't move much, but it can move. So I do what I call babysit it. And sometimes I don't. I go to bed and forget or whatever, and something will be moved in the morning, but it's okay. Nothing is perfect. And this is why I was going to hot glue, because I knew that wasn't going to want to sit straight up and down. Thank you, Sue. But we can get it pretty close. So cute. I love it. I love things that are girly like that. This would be sweet for, well, any woman. I don't think you have to be like young, but I do think granddaughters would love it, or even a college kid would love it. Sometimes I show my daughter things. She's 27 and she'll be like, that's so cute. I want one. So us girls like all the things, don't we? So see how I can't really get it straight up and down very well, but that is okay. I'm not going to cry about it. Just going to do the best I can, and I may just have to keep working with it because that one's doing good. It's just you kind of got to get it right in between a couple a certain way. That's good. Okay, let's leave that. On something this small, if you don't have a butane torch yet, that's something you can pick up later if you really end up loving this. You could use like one of these for something this small and just, you know, kind of go around to any bubbles and pop, or take like a pin, you know, like a stick pin type thing and poke the bubble. This is so small you could do that. You don't have to have the torch yet. Wouldn't they, Sherry? That's what I'm thinking. And I told you guys, where is that little, I don't have it handy, but I told you somebody ordered the little pink barn that I do, and she's putting her daughters, or her twins, it's a boy and a girl, names and year on that. I'm going to personalize them for her, and I just thought that's so cute. So yes, that is it, you guys. So then what I do is cover it with a little food tent. Let me show you. This is one that I have. It's my larger one, so I'm not going to open it up, but it's a food tent that you can get at Dollar Tree or places like that. The ones that I really like the best came from Temu, because they are very tight knit weave, so the little things that fly through our air don't go through them. Or you can take like a clear shoe box, or even a box that isn't clear, and cover your item. Does need to be on a level surface, so be sure you're on a level surface. And I also put it up on something. So for something like this, I would just take a little cup like this and put it right on top on a level surface. That way, if there is any spillage, it's going to come over, and remember how I said it will kind of hang on right here under the edge? That way it's not permanently glued to my desk or whatever you're sitting it on. So that's what I'll do, and cover it with my tent for 24 hours is ideal. But what I do is in the morning, I'll come in here and take a picture of it. I do wear gloves to handle it at first, because it's not 100% cured. It's not hard cured for a few days. So it's what they call a soft cure. And if I picked it up like this and put my thumb on it, I would get a fingerprint. If that happens, you can take your torch and torch it for a second until that fingerprint goes away. But that is not ideal, because you do risk burning your resin. So it's better just to, you know, either hold it underneath or just put on a pair of gloves. And I'll take a picture and everything. And then about 2 days later is when I'm able to ship it to somebody. So I do wait a full three full days before I ship anything resin, so it has a time to get to that hard cure. What other questions? On cleanup, just kind of briefly say, now I'm never going to waste resin, so I always have something I can resin. And you know, so I'll use this, and what will be left in my cup is just very little. Then I'll take any tissue or any paper towels that I have and stuff it in the cup and put it into one of those like Walmart or, you know, grocery sacks or something, or if you have a baggie, whatever you have that you can kind of put that down in, and then put in your trash. Now we have a trash outside our house that's just like the big dumpster trash thing, and I just throw it in there. Don't put it with recycling. You know, it does need to go in the trash, but I do try to, you know, put it all kind of in a sealed thing and then in the trash. So I just don't want to risk my dog is smart, but you know, I just don't want to take any chances. So I do take it out so that she has no chance of getting hold of it. And I think that's just a good practice to get in for cleanup. And then your granddaughter and nieces will be, oh, good, Teresa. That's awesome. You guys are welcome to, when you make something, especially something I've taught, put it in the Art and Craft Showcase group. That's my free group, and you can put the things you make. You know, it's so inspiring to see what you guys do, and maybe you'll do a different color or change it up and use something besides pearls. If you have old jewelry from your mom or grandmom, maybe use some of that in something like this. Or, you know, you find something at Goodwill, or somebody gives you something that you can't wear but you want to use, you know, think of all that and incorporate it into a design. And then you actually are honoring that person because it's something that you can see and love rather than it just sitting in a drawer. That's my thoughts on it. The pants quickly. I thought so too, Christy. I was nervous because I was like, I don't know if this is going to ruin it or take away from the girl, but I do like it. I thought it was cute. Well, I'm so happy y'all were here. Thanks for coming back for today. Debbie, I'm going to put all that into the VIP group. I always give y'all my go-to supplies where I get things in there. But you can get these anywhere. They have them at, you know, well, definitely Amazon and probably other places, but I like the ones with no holes when I can find them. It just makes it easier to not have to turn. Sometimes I do have to turn the little pearls to where the hole doesn't show. So yes, you're welcome, Mary. Glad you were here. Any other questions before I go? Thank you guys for sprinkling. I appreciate you very much. Thanks, Debbie. All right, VIP ladies, I'll see y'all at 2 and we're going to paint. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Oh, and listen, if anybody's watching this and thinking, well, what is this VIP thing? You can go to the bottom or pinned comment that says artgracepaint.com. And on the page that says art membership, just, you can read all about it. I tell you what we do, and what's included, and it's $20. And I'll be opening it very, very soon. Hint, hint, very soon. So get on the wait list. And that way you're the first to find out when I do open it. Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks, Tamara, for helping. Appreciate you guys. I will see y'all later. Bye, guys.